Blessings. If you happen to hop on right now, the show's going to start at 11. So if you are seeing this after the day, after the time, go ahead and fast forward about 10 minutes. I'm just getting set up. And I just wanted to make sure we could get onto our YouTube live stream. I've been having a few issues with that, so I'm just checking everything. So I'll be with you. We're getting ready. Just want to get the lighting right. We're in a new location, which is very exciting for me. I always want to make sure that sometimes I don't give this enough time ahead of the case, and then I'm scrambling. So I just want to make sure that we have our ample setup so that we could just get into the live stream when it's time. It does take a little setup. There's some technical things that we get to deal with, and for people like me who are not generally technically inclined, there's always a learning curve with all of this. And because I go live now on the Facebook as well as YouTube and Instagram, there's just a few more things to set up. And I've been noticing if I don't get to them sooner, then it can disrupt the flow of the later of the actual show, and I do not want to do that. Once it's time to go live, I want to just be able to be live with you and not have any of those kinds of issues. That's the intention. Got 3 little cameras here, setting things up. Go ahead and plug this in. Oh, what just happened? What just happened? Okay. Don't know what that was. Blessings, Avo. I'm just getting set up. If you're up for the show, it starts in about 8 minutes. So I'm just getting set up, me lady. And because I'm in a new area and, you know, all this technical stuff. Gotta deal with it and set it up. Okay, let me see. And you know, of course, love the lighting. Gotta get the lighting right. Got to get the lighting right. Just right. As right as we can, anyway. And it's interesting because all of these instruments, the different phones and the gear, I have one thing I use for Facebook and one thing I use for Insta, and then the laptop for YouTube, and they each have their own sort of settings. And so one is a little darker, one's a little lighter, one I'm more tan. It's just all so different. I'm trying to just do my best to get the equilibrium of it all so that I don't have to be fussing when it's actual showtime, which is in 4 minutes. I think we're doing good so far, getting there. And Avian, I keep meaning to email you. Do you know that I've been so ridiculously busy? It's just been so wild. And I want to touch base with you about... Okay, you cooked the dinner. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I've been wanting to touch base with you and talk to you about that wonderful show we shared, and make sure that I can send you the link, and I don't know, just have a chat about it. But let's see, there's a few things here. Okay, let's see. She's cooking the dinner. Now, what else? For some reason on the YouTube here, let me check this. Maybe that's it. Maybe that is it. Every room has its own lighting. You're busy as well? You just emailed me. Okay, awesome. I will have a look for that. Now, God, when you write notes, Avo, and then you're looking back at the notes and you're like, what? I've like all these great notes, but there's these abbreviations, and I guess these were written in the middle of the night, and there's a part of me that's like, oh, I'll know what I was saying, and now I'm just going like, okay, we're gonna wing it here, shoot from the hip. Oh, it's just 11. Let's do this. Let's do this. Oh, what a blessed gift it is to be with you on this beautiful day, this beautiful, beautiful day. I am Tuesday May Thomas, and this is my weekly live stream for the Trinity here at my main page at Instagram, on Facebook, and at YouTube. And I'm so very grateful to be here with this beautiful community. Every week I go live and we talk about fourth dimensional consciousness. Everything that I share is here to serve your path of spiritual growth and of sovereignty, to understand the multidimensional metaphysical aspects of your being and put them into an awareness, a level of awareness and accessibility, so that you can greater understand who you are and how to navigate your way in this world, right? In the now. And ultimately, fourth dimensional consciousness speaks to that consciousness rooted in the power of the heart. So really at the root of what we share here, of what I teach here, it is really understanding the metaphysical power of love, the metaphysical power of love. And you are that. At essence, you are that. And what we do here at 4D Trinity is we speak about all the different ways that you are love, coming back into the power of love and rekindling, reawakening that through your mental body, through your emotional body, and through your physical body. Okay? And it is in this divine unity of mind, body, and emotions with spirit, which is the heart, which is the indivisible power of love, that unity, a unity consciousness that is that you are, when the mind, the body, and the emotions are aligned with that unfuckable with ability and frequency of you knowing that and remembering that, that is when your reality begins to shift. And this is all about becoming conscious, moving from unconscious levels of being into conscious levels of being. It is about moving from the first three chakras of our existence, moving from survival mode, moving from just getting by mode, being okay with being in a body on this planet mode, learning how to manifest and take care of ourselves, and also to be in our power in this world. And once we begin to straddle and awaken these abilities and align them and embody, right, that knowingness that I'm okay being who I am in this body, on this planet at this time, you begin to walk in that way, and you begin to then move. Once you feel safe enough being in this body and being in existence here, you begin to move into the heart chakra, where the mystical path of awakening abides. And this mystical path of awakening is everything that is, yes, in your mind, but all that is beyond what your mind can imagine. It is beyond what your mind can think and conjure. And that's why it is mystical, because in many ways it does not make sense. In many ways it is beyond what our logical and reasoning mind can make sense of. But this is why it is mystical. This is why it is magical. And this is why when we create the correct conditions within us, we become a conduit for our own beings to connect with that which is in the world, yet not of it. So thank you for saying hi on Instagram, and thank you for hopping on and saying hi on Facebook, and everyone here in YouTube land. I'm so very grateful for you. And just so you know, at Instagram, I do most of my posting. If you're interested in what I share, follow me at Instagram. If you like what you are frequencing with through the messages I share, go to my website, tuesdaymaythomas.com. The link is at my Insta. It will also be down below here on YouTube a little later when I set up the description box. The first page there, you can subscribe to my monthly love letter, which I'm working on right now, and I send out to the subscribers of the community. Now, I also teach some exercise classes on Zoom. I also have a book club with my book, The Reiki Apprentice, which is called the Spiritual Apprentice Book Club, and we meet every Saturday at noon Pacific Standard Time. Now, you can hop in anytime, no contracts. You will get what you energetically need for your path. We're studying my book, and it is really a manual, a guideline, a pathway, a blueprint for your awakening consciousness, for your awakening path of self-healing and discovery. So again, thank you everyone for being here. So our topic today is don't let them get into your psyche. Now, you can Google psyche. I haven't Googled it, but intuitively, right? What is your psyche? There's a sense that your psyche is the continuum of you that is mind and that is emotions and body. So on a level, this is the multidimensional aspects that I speak of when I share about our multidimensionality: mind, emotions, and body. In many ways, right, these aspects of ourselves are governed by energy, thoughts, words, frequencies, vibrations that we hold within ourselves, and also that information coming from the outside. If the information coming from outside does not feel good to you, does not help you be in your power, attempts to take you out of your place of power, and if that information is allowed to be repeated over and over again, it's going to find a place in your psyche, in your emotional, mental continuum, in your aura, in your field. So you can imagine your psyche is the extension of you as energy. It is your emotions, it is your physicality, and it is your mental body. So, who are they, right? Don't let them get into your psyche. Who are they? Well, they can be a complete stranger in a car that you never even meet or have a face-to-face necessarily with. They can be someone you don't know at the grocery store, in line, someone that's just completely, you have no idea who they are or where they're coming from, really, what their story is. It can be someone online that bashes a comment or a post that you make. It can be a family member. It can be a friend. It can also be the media. So we think about who are they, right? People, places, and things are what they are. And these aspects, these events, these facilitations of information can really take root in us. And really, think about it. How susceptible are you to just basic information coming in? And how you wear it, how you let it get into you. For example, 2 nights ago, I'm listening to this astrologer that I really like. And apparently now we're, happy, is it the full moon, the new moon? Apologies, I lose track with these things. I think we're in the full moon of Gemini. And she was speaking to that, she was, for my sign, I'm a Taurus, and she said, with this full moon situation, whatever's going on, you are going to be experiencing some real rough patches with your sleep. You're going to feel more tired. So that's just an example, right, of how information can get into your psyche. And I'll tell you, when I heard that, there was a part of me that's like, yeah, I've been feeling that. But then, as I've been going through the last couple nights after hearing that message, I've been waking up tired. And I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, how much of her message am I really letting into my psyche? Am I really letting into my being? Bottom line, what do you want to be the truth? Because ultimately, you decide your truth. I would like to, I imagine, the idea of getting more rest. That sounds really perfect for me, actually, at this time. Yet this notion of waking up tired or feeling exhausted for this next 2-week period, I don't really need to take that on. So that's just a little example of like, how susceptible are you to the messages, to the information that is given to you? Sometimes a friend, a loved one, a family member can say something and you can feel triggered. You can feel hurt by the information. And the point is that when we are in our power, when we are in our truth, our energy expands. Your field expands. You are in the truth and the love and the light of your heart. There are problems with solutions, right? And when we are in the dark, what happens is when we get into that fear and we let those messages feed us. And now that's a very basic one. I'm going to give you another example here in a moment. Just that one with, getting rest and getting sleep. That's a real basic one. But it serves to create that awareness of like, how this stuff works. And on that other level, it's like if you allow many, many points to build up in your field, in your aura, of this kind of information that is not serving you, and if you are being met with that information on repetition, like say with the media, like say right? Within an abusive relationship, being with a partner that doesn't respect you and giving you messages of that you are worthless and you are unlovable, etc. This stuff is going to start to get into your psyche, right? And now even the thoughts that you think. It's one thing when that thought comes in. It's one thing when that stranger or that troll on the comment in whatever social media comes in and tries to bash you. They hit you with the hammer, or they try to hit you with the hammer. Now it's another thing when you let that in. Because when you let that in and you begin to repeat that on your own, what you're saying is you're saying, give me the hammer you just hit me with and let me hit myself with that hammer. Pay attention, right? Ultimately, when we let that fear in, when we let ourselves be triggered continually, it weakens our aura. It weakens our field, right? Here you are. Yes, this is you, my loves. This little gingerbread person figure with your crystalline tube. This is your Shushumna. This is your divine main channel that connects you to source God love. This is the grid matrix, this blue sort of crosswork patch above. And these are the fields of your aura, right? Your mind, your body, your emotional aspects. And when you let those stories get in, right? And when you let them stick, they stick like little marks on your energy field. And unless you decide consciously that there will be no place for this in my mind, to allow this to be on repeat, until you make conscious that choice, you begin to weaken your field. And again, if there's a lot of these messages, right? If you are very, very sensitive and you listen to the media and you begin to live in fear, especially regards to, we don't even have to be in this pandemic time. That's the media's job, right? It's sometimes you see a cute little story about a kitten on the news, but for the most part, it's not. They're not talking about kittens and fluffiness, right? It's a very polarized domain. So the point is that managing what you let in by way of being mindful, what you allow to be on repeat in your mind, what you allow to give space to. We've all heard this notion of, are we renting out something, right? Are we renting out space in our mind to something or to someone? Don't let them get into your psyche. When you repeat those messages that have been told to you, whether it's that we're all going to die, there's no point in being alive, there's nothing you can do, or you're worthless, you're unlovable, or you're never going to get a job in this time. Look at what's going on in the world. You're never going to, whatever the message is, when you get that power, when you get that on repeat, you are making a choice. You are making a choice to sustain a certain dual reality in your being. And the truth is that you are one in your power. You are, again, unfuckable with. And it is remembering that you are source, that you are an extension of God, love, light. This is how you take your power back. We're going to do a little meditation at the end to activate that and to come into the remembering of that and to seal up any holes, any cracks in your aura. Because what happens is when we allow even just one, even if you feel like, well, my aura is pretty freaking, powered up and impenetrable by those inappropriate forces. But we know when we let even one of those negative thoughts, of those triggering thoughts in, and when we repeat it, what's happening is we are plugging in to the grid matrix of collective consciousness through that vibration, through that message. And what we're saying is, this is my truth right now. And because like attracts like, through the grid matrix of collective consciousness, where you place your attention is what will be given back to you, is what's going to pay attention to you. So what we put out comes back multiplied. Think about that, and think about that metaphysically. What you put out returns back multiplied. That is how the grid matrix works. That is how the matrix works. It's like ordering something on Amazon or whatever your favorite provider is, right? Or looking something up in Google, what you Google, okay, and we even know this, right? This is the way the neural net works. This is the way the matrix works. And isn't it cool? Isn't it funny? Isn't it interesting how the AI has, they copy how our brains work in their technology. And so if you look up shoes in your Google search, right? Then next you're on YouTube, you're going to see a whole string line of shoe adverts, trying to get your attention. It's the same thing with how the grid works. What you put out returns to you multiplied. The good news is you can change what you're sending out. You can change the message you're sending out into the universe, and so change what is going to return and come back to you multiplied. But we will go through a meditation where we are going to seal up and heal up any little cracks and leaky holes in your aura, because what happens is when we let that stuff in, and when we don't clean and sweep the dojo, as we say, and keep and maintain our light and raise our frequency and decide when you decide what your truth is, boom, like you come into your power. When you sit in your heart, you come into your power that is indivisible, that is unity consciousness, and that is one. You remember you are one. And again, that is your unfuckable with ability. Okay, so a story. As some of you know, I'm working on developing a screenplay for a film titled Grid Mind Science, which is the summary of my life's work for the last 20 years. I'm enjoying the process, but like any creative endeavor, there's highs and there's lows. There's times where I feel like I'm really in the pocket. I've got it. The juice is flowing. The creativity is flowing. I'm in it. And then there's times and weeks where I'm just going, oh man, I feel so disconnected from this. I have no inspiration, but this is what it is sometimes. It doesn't have to be all the time, but sometimes as an artist, there's going to be those highs and lows, and like with so many things in life. So I went through a period of that recently, and it was maybe about 2 weeks ago, and then there was this beautiful upsurge of this reawakening, of this connection, this rekindling with my creative endeavor, with this project. And I was like, oh, because I have a page. It's a Facebook business page, Grid Mind Science, and it's also on Instagram. And again, I am very active on Instagram. I'm not so active on Facebook, but I'm here. We got you, and I appreciate your support on all the platforms. So the point is that I finally got this rekindling with my ideas and with my inspiration and how I want to share it. And I made this little movie up and posted it. And I felt like, yeah, this is it. The message, the information that I'm intending to convey is really getting succinct. It's really aligning, and I felt really good about it. And I posted it on my Instagram page, Grid Mind Science. And then the next day I go in and I'm like scrolling through that page and the people I follow on that page. And I see there was a comment. And this dude was just like, this is fucking crap. We already know this shit. This is fucking blah, blah, blah. And he just went off. And I was like, okay, And in the past, I might have been really triggered and I would have taken it personally. But there's, again, we become conscious and we're just like, okay, this is information. I don't need to take this personally. That's another thing with don't let them get into your psyche. Don't take it personally, because everything that someone is giving you as a gift of information is about them. It's about them. So I'm thinking, and I remember this dude because he's been following that page for, maybe 8 months or so. So I go over to his page, and there's these lovely pictures of rainbows and like love and light and share the kindness and share the love and all this. So then I'm like, okay, I don't want to react. And maybe if it was the Tuesday May Thomas page, I would be a little more sassy. On that page, more of anything goes. But on my Grid Mind Science page, that has a different voice, that has a different frequency that I very mindfully curate, and I'm very mindful how I navigate my way there and the space that I hold for that project. Because it's not about me, it's about the messages that the project is intending to share. So then I comment back and I say, and I quote one of these love and light things from his page, and I just say, and his name is Gio from his page, and I just said, hey Gio, you know, there's a sense that if you had truly integrated the information shared in this post, you would not be so irritated. Anyway, I let it go. I let it go. The next day, I'm in again, Grid Mind Science, and he had come back and he's like, yeah, but this is a load of shit, like blah, 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 all in caps. And I was just like, I can take this personally. I can get really, you know, let this get into my psyche. I can let this decide for me that what I'm creating is a load of shit. Or I can say, fuck this shit, fuck this dude. And pardon my French, but you know, here, sometimes this is just how we roll. And so what was the guidance? I said, higher self, you know, I'm not going to get into a battle and start commenting back and forth with this brother and clashing arms. I was like, I don't need, that's not how I'm going to roll here. And that's generally not how I roll anyway. And we know, though, there is a time to stand up to the bully. But there's also a time, which in my experience is more often where you just, you do the taekwondo. You move out of the way and you just let their energy go where it's going to go and go back to them, and you don't take it on. So what did I do? I deleted his last comment and I blocked him. Now, does that mean that that information, that first comment where he's like, this is a load of shit, blah, 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 and all this stuff? No, that was still in my mind. Those messages were still there. And so I was like, okay, that energy, because it's not really about the person. It's about the energy that is conveyed in the message, in the information of what they're putting out to you. That we can either decide to be triggered by, to become emotionally unstable about, to react to, or not. It's the energy. It's the essence of the frequency. And I realized that, and I had to do a little work. It took a full day, because that little blip, that little bit of tar of his shadow energy continued to attempt to penetrate my field, penetrate my mind. It wanted to rent out a place in my field. And we know that whatever we attract, there's something in us that is allowing that or causing that attraction. And so, yeah, sure, I've got fear. I've got issues with, like, you know, is what I'm putting out there questionable? Does it add up in the scientific and spiritual community? Is it good enough? You know, yeah, okay, true. But I'm over that enough to be able to stand up and to have a page and to be, you know, courageous. It takes courage when you're an artist and to put your stuff out there, because there may be people that will want to trash it. But I'm over that and to the point, but still that little was trying to get in there. And it took a full day of me saying, no, thank you, of erasing the arrow, the line of energy coming from him into my arrow, an arrow from him trying to link and anchor into my energy. I had to continue to say no all day. And a tool that I share is erase it and place love there. Every time I felt or I saw his energy coming in and try to like dart and get in and like hook into my field and get into my psyche, I took a moment and I erased, like a big blackboard eraser from school, if you're old enough to remember that. I imagined that arrow and that energy from him just being completely erased to its roots. And then I placed love there. I would feel the frequency of love. I would send it there. I would imagine the word love. And love, as I teach, is the quantum organizer. It will know what to do beyond what my mind can think of, how to create the correct conditions to heal, to really go to the point in creation of that circumstance. And now it's gone. Okay, so don't let them get into your psyche. I believe I have some notes here. I just want to have a look. So we went over knowing that, because ultimately, what is this about? This is about you staying in your power. And what is your power? It is you being in tune with God, with love, with your truth. Now, if God gives you a knee-jerk reaction, it's just love. Give it a different word, a different name, okay? It's source energy. It is light. It is you being healthy. It is you being at peace. That is God. You being at peace and not letting the fuckery of the world and of things. And I know I said that in a very, very polarized way. But sometimes it's like, that's the matrix level of me speaking, right? That's the 3D level of like, you know, and sometimes you got to call the bully out. And all that energy is that bully energy. And when we let it in, there, we become the victim. And then all of a sudden, when that comes in, remember again, you let it penetrate your aura. What happens is you get leaky energy because you've let these hooks from this people, this place, this thing, this media, whoever, their comments, the trolls, whatever it is, you've let them hook into you. And what happens is that begins to create openings in your field. You're seeing this? Am I getting this correctly? You're beginning to create openings in your field that's going to let that like energy in. And it's all about maintaining your light. It's the God phone. Hello? Hey, God. Yes, we're here in a new room, in a new setting, doing my best to get the lighting right. Blessings, God says hi, everyone. Okay, and God is just reminding us, you know, an altar, if God gives you the knee-jerk reaction, which I know it does for some people, and God, this essence, this frequency that is sharing and channeling through the phone now, is inviting us to consider that a way to think about God is just the sustained, conscious perception of love. It is knowing, without a doubt, that love is the truth. And God's like, and that is all. Okay. Oh, but you want us to read a little bit? I would love to read some from the Course in Miracles. I feel like it's been a while now. Will do. All right. Blessings, dear God. God says, bless up, everyone. So, yes, that frequency of love allows you to be unfuckable with. And the thing is to allow the choices that you make. We are constantly making a choice for love or for fear. And again, the choices we make are going to create the correct conditions for that like energy to meet us. You know, Carolyn Mace, if you know her, I've been watching her little YouTube blips during this time. And she was saying, walk in faith. And I wrote that on my whiteboard, and I have the note here, walk in faith. Walk in faith. And like the very beginning of the show, we talked about faith and how, you know, this is your metaphysical power, is to know that there is a whole world of love, of angelical, of support with you in the invisible realm. And next week, on next week's show, if it's of interest to you, we're going to be doing a show called Ask Your Angels. You're going to meet your angels. We're going to be talking about that invisible realm. So check it out. Keep an eye out. Follow, you know, subscribe, hang out. And I'm so grateful to share that with you. So Carolyn Mace said, walk in faith, walk in faith. And she was talking about her adventure along the Camino. So I had written that on the whiteboard, and more information was coming through, and I wrote it down, and I want to share it with you for this show. So walk in faith. No matter what the world, no matter what the 3D, the matrix is showing you, your point of reference can be rooted in that which is beyond the world. So no matter what the world shows you, right? Again, the media perhaps, or someone pointing at you, telling you you're too fat, you're too ugly, you're worthless, your creations suck, or whatever it is, whatever those messages might be, whatever the world is showing you, the matrix is showing you, your point of reference can be rooted in that which is beyond the world, right? And it is your point of reference that serves as a portal through which all that enters your experience abides. So again, what you decide to allow as your truth, you plug into. This is a little symbol of the grid matrix of collective consciousness. All our minds as threads of energy, of threads of frequency. Like attracts like. what I send out will come back to me multiplied. My point of reference does not have to be what Gio said on that comment, that my creations suck and that it's blah, 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 all this stuff. My point of reference can be remembering that I am one with God and that God is unfuckable with, that unity, that indivisibility of my consciousness is, and so it is. And to allow that to be the gift that carries me, the frequency that carries me from being, hit and having leaky energy in my aura and letting more of that like frequency that's just here to bully and tear down. Because as you rise, as your power gets stronger and stronger and stronger, the shadow will come to rise to challenge you. That's just how it works here in the Matrix. And so you get to stand up to that bully, to that energy, and just how the power of repetition, the bully will try again to hit you with the hammer, and it may try again and again and again. And when you let that into your psyche, you will know, because at that point, again, you will have taken the hammer and you will be hitting yourself on the head with the hammer, because you are allowing yourself to repeat those destructive patterns of thought, and they begin to internalize and become a part of your biochemistry that affect your ability, your neural net mapping, that's going to keep you releasing serotonin, oxytocin, vasopressin. Am I saying that right? Vasopressin, pardon me. Oh, vasopressin, yes. There are all of these amazing neurotransmitter hormonal chemicals in our body that are released when we're in peace, when we're in love, when we're like cool, when we're just like boom, just like in peace. But we know that peace starts in our mind, right? And of those correct conditions to be carried by peace instead of by all the bumpy roads of the thoughts that someone else has projected onto you, or that the world and the media, or that, a family member, or that just some stranger in the store threw at you and trying to anchor into your aura, into your field, into your psyche. That can get bumpy. And then you might feel like you're dragging all that energy along, but you don't have to do that, right? That shrinks your field. That shrinks your ability to be able to see beyond this world, to be able to know that there is a solution to every problem when you are rooted in love and in your power. That is your power. Your power is love. That is your supernatural power. Sounds cheesy, but you know what? When you get it, you're like, oh yeah, this is it. Love always wins. Love always wins, right? And love goes hand in hand with faith. But it's a practice. So you're either repeating those triggers, those storylines, those themes that have been gifted to you from outside. And now it could be old stuff that's been told to you from a youth and you're still repeating it on the inside. But either way, it is connecting you to a greater source line through the grid matrix, and it will be fed back to you multiplied, because the grid matrix contains all thoughts from all people, places, and things through all time, space, and dimensions. So that's why you can get really depressed in 24 hours and want to kill yourself, especially if that is your tendency and if you are emotionally unstable. And that's why it is up to us to see things for what they are. Everything is energy, and you can master what you let in. And so by repetition, you're either repeating the thoughts of things that will serve your well-being, your peace, your empowerment, your energy, your awareness to expand, to include more than what the world will show you, or not. Or you will feel very confined by the world. Okay. Yeah, and again, is it them, right? Was it Gio who left that trolling comment on my thing that I wanted to get out of my system, that I intended to release from my field? No, it wasn't really him. It was that frequency, though. It was that energy that was conveyed in the messages that he was channeling and attempting to hook into me. It's the energy. Vajra Queen here says, yeah, practicing non-attachment helps her. Okay, awesome. So the God phone ring wants us to have a little talk about, it's 11:36, so we have time for our meditation. So let's go into this a little bit deeper, and then we're going to do a little meditation. You're going to clear your aura, you're going to clear your field, and just like reset and seal, right? Anywhere that you've allowed people's frequencies, people's messages to come in. What's up, Jose? Okay, so the God phone is inviting us to read lesson 335. I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. So this is very important, because if I reacted to Gio's comment and was like, that motherfucker, I'm going to get him. If I became defensive, and if I was like, he's such a dick, like if I started going there, all I'm doing is reflecting back to him a frequency of that which he is attempting to send and hook into me. And because we're becoming conscious, we're going from being unconscious of, why is this happening to me? Why can't I do it? No, if you're watching this, you're awake, honey, and we are ready to move those unconscious, those sleeping parts of us into the light and into awareness, into a new field of awareness. So yes, on a matrix 3D level, I might be like, okay, that he's being a dick. But on another level, on a higher level, I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. I choose to not reflect back polarity. I choose to know that these are just words that he's sending me, and I choose to be mindful in how I let it in and how I respond. So lesson 335 from A Course in Miracles is what the God phone is guiding us to read, to reflect on this idea. I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. Forgiveness is a choice. Forgiveness, according to A Course in Miracles, is the root of non-judgment. When we walk with non-judgment, we are free, and so are others. So if this guy's going to send me this comment, and if I react and respond and respond in a way that is polarized, I'm not free. I'm judging him the way that I think he's judging me. And then it becomes a tug of war. And then he's hooked me. And we're not getting hooked. That's the whole point of don't let them get into your psyche. Second sentence, I never see my brother as he is, for that is far beyond perception. In A Course in Miracles teaching, perception is what we see with the physical eyes. This is how we see the matrix. This is how we see the world, the veils that we are told that the world is. We see on the horizon the third dimension. Okay? What I see in him is merely what I wish to see, because it stands for what I want to be the truth. So if I want Gio to be a dick, if I want the truth to be that I'm bullied and that I'm a victim and that I suck as an artist or whatever, then I will, he knocks one thing my way, I can knock it back and be like, well, you know what, dick? Well, I'm a mama. And I can get into an attitude, and I can let him get into me. My tar body, my shadow will start to fight with his shadow. And then what's happening is there's no light conversation. We're both stuck in the matrix now. We're hooked in. And now we're feeding off of each other from this lower frequency. I never see my brother as he is. And according to this, what is your brother? What is your sister? God. They are a part of you. We are all a part of the one. Blessings, Patricia. I love you, girl. I'm so happy we get to stay connected over all these years. Okay, so what I see in my brother is what I wish to see. So we can see what we want, and that is going to create the correct conditions for that reality to be manifest for us. Now, I could still to this day be going on in conflict with this guy and have a string of 20 comments back and forth. And that means he's gotten in, that his stuff has gotten in and taken root into my psyche. But no, we don't have to allow that to be. Okay, so what I see in him is merely what I wish to see, because it stands for what I want to be the truth. So bottom line, what do you want to be the truth? That you're really a victim? That the world is really a scary place to be? Or that the world is a safe place to be? Again, beyond what the world would show you, beyond what the bully would try to hit you with. What are you allowing to be the truth? Because what you decide to see, how you decide to perceive whatever it is in front of you, you have, 50 cents, 50 euros, whatever it is in your pocket, and you can either think that I'm rich or I'm poor. And that will be the lens through which your reality will be conducted on your behalf for you through the simulation of this matrix. And the point of everything we share here in 4D Trinity is, again, bridging mind, body, and emotions with spirit, with the heart center, because it is through the portal of the heart that you will have a different experience within the matrix. You will learn how to be in the world, but not of it. You won't be so pulled and swayed by the stories the world would have you think are true. And I'm speaking specifically about the stories that are rooted in fear. Okay? So it is to this alone that I respond. So you respond to your truth. You decide. I could decide this guy's a dick and carry that as a truth within me, and then create more openings, remember, in my aura to receive more of that energy coming to me, because now he's gotten in, and now there's holes in my aura. Now there's really a place for him to come on in and to come on through, and for others like that energy to come in and to come on through. So my truth is, no, that's not my truth, right? My truth is I'm going to handle it to a point, and then I'm going to erase it and place love there, bless it, and let it go. And you can do it too. Okay. So it is to this alone that I respond, being your truth. You respond to the truth that you decide is the truth. The chemicals in your body, if this world is a fearful place, and believe me, I know there's plenty of reasons that we could get into that, but if we decide the world is a fearful place, your body will release the correct conditions, the correct chemicals into your system to set off your sympathetic nervous system, to keep you in cortisol and stress, in fight or flight. But when you meditate, when you get on repetition, your thoughts, your mind, your field, in alignment and attunement with love, that is when the chemical reaction in your body will begin to shift into those peaceful feelings, and your reality will begin to shapeshift in how it begins to reveal itself to you. So you decide, I choose to see what I would look upon, and this I see, and only this. So there is this aspect that I teach. We talked about these two eyes: see the horizon, see the matrix, see the third dimension. But you know what? You have another set of eyes, and that is your third eye and your heart center. And when your third eye and your heart center are seeing, this is when we see God in our brothers and sisters. No matter what they've done, no matter how they've tried to harm us or others or whatever it is, we see through the veils of illusion. We allow love the right of way. And really, this is what the message is here. Don't let them get into your psyche. If you can hold the frequency of love and see beyond what the polarity of your reactions, of your triggers, of your responses to want to fight back or to get even or to have revenge or whatever it is, or to be the victim, when you can get over that and see it from this higher vision, you will have a different experience of reality. My brother's sinlessness shows me that I would look upon my own, because remember, everything like attracts like. And so if you are saying, he's a dick or she's a bitch or whatever, and believe me, I know in a 3D level, sometimes there's a time where you need to get that off of your chest and you're like, they're being a dick or whatever it is. Okay, fine. But it's one thing to have that little blip, but it's another thing if you're going to perpetuate and think that way over and over and over and over again, you become a dick. So your brother, your sister's sinlessness begins in how you perceive them. Are you seeing them here with the physical eyes, or are you able to see from your higher vision? And I will see it, having chosen to behold my brother in his holy light. So which lenses are you looking through? And what do you truly wish to be the truth? Right? Ultimately, we know this saying, the truth will set us free. And the truth is always love. That's my invitation to you. All right. Set up for a little meditation, my friends. If you're up for it, If you need to go, come back on my story at Instagram. This will be up for the next 24 hours. It's here on YouTube, and couple lives on Facebook were a little glitchy, but I pray we've gotten over that and we've resolved those issues. So you can also catch it at Facebook as well. Take a moment, gather your goods. I'm going to have a little sip of water. And we'll go in for this little meditation to help clear, reset, and maybe even visit with the higher self of any individuals that you feel have attempted to get their hooks in you, into your psyche, and release those hooks. So let's close the eyes. Take a deep breath in, a deep breath out. And draw up your awareness into the heart. And from the heart center, we enter a rose quartz crystalline cave in the interdimensional space of the one heart we all share. It is here that we do this work together. Let's take a deep breath in, filling the mind, the whole mental continuum that you walk with light. Just breathe that light in and imagine feeling that lattice of your mental continuum with that light, that grid work, that space in your aura with light. And as you exhale again, just further continuing to light up your mental continuum with that light. And a breath for the emotions. Breathe in, fill up your emotional body, the lattice of light that is your emotional being, the reflection of that through the matrix, through the invisible realms. Fill it with light. And as you exhale, just let that light turn on even stronger. And for the physical body, deep breath in, breathing through the lattice, through the tapestry, the grittery that is your physical being, filling it with light and exhaling, amplifying that light through your physical body. Shrinking yourself down in the space of your heart. Call in your animal totems, call in your higher self. And as they appear, acknowledge them and become aware of them acknowledging you as well. And higher self is walking you through this spaciousness of your heart center. And you find yourself in front of an elevator, and the doors open. You enter this elevator with your totems, with your higher self, and the doors close. There are no buttons on the inside of this elevator. It starts to travel down, down, down. And at the very bottom of your spine, the elevator doors open. In the space of the root chakra, you step out with your animal totems, with your higher self, and you notice a beautiful landscape here. The ocean in front of you. There's sand and there's trees, there's rocks and there's mountains. You find a beautiful shady place under the tree to sit, and you sit with your back against the tree. Do this now. Get comfortable in this meditation within your meditation. And as you get comfortable, you look around, taking another breath, observing this beautiful view, the nature that surrounds you. Your higher self sits next to you. Your animal totems are with you. And now take a moment, close your eyes in this meditation, sitting at this tree. And imagine you can remove yourself from your body in this meditation and sit across from yourself. And give yourself the gift of third eye vision and observe your aura now. As you sit across from yourself, looking at the version of you seated, leaning against this tree, observe your aura and notice where there may be any cracks or any openings that do not serve your higher good, your peace, your power now. And don't judge them, just observe what's there. And notice who or what is associated with those cracks, with those openings, with those hooks, with whatever it is that you see here that has marked your field, that is depleting your energy, that is attempting to get into your psyche or that has gotten in. Notice who or what it is and make a note of that. And then gently step back in, sit back in to your body that is leaning against this tree. And as you lean against this tree, you close your eyes, you sit tall in this meditation within this meditation. And remember those aspects that may be attempting to get into your psyche or that are already there. May be people, they may be places, they may be events or things. It could be the fear of money, of not having enough. It could be what someone said to you. It can be something really hurtful or just something a stranger did to you. We're going to work with 3 of these aspects. So wherever there is a weakness or an opening or a marking or a hook in your aura, call now that which is associated with it. We're going to do 3. So the first one that comes, whether it's a person, a place, or a thing, imagine calling in the higher self of that person, that place, that thing. Call in the higher self of it and allow it to sit in front of you in this meditation for the highest good. Take a moment to just allow your beautiful imagination to show you how this would happen. Take another breath. And as this person, place, or thing sits across from you, you know what they said to you, you know what they did to you. Ask why they extended this energy to you and listen. Listen with detachment. And now tell them whatever you wish to tell them, and tell them, speak as your higher self. Speak with your higher mind and your higher heart. And now tell them there's no room for them or the frequency of the energy of which that is attempting to hook into you. And tell them they have to go now. There's no room in your field for their frequencies or for that frequency. And notice how they respond. And remember, this is them or it as its higher self, the nature of its higher self. And with that, feel any hooks, any markings, any ways that they've connected into you, unhooking from the root, releasing, dissolving. Erase it how you see it and view it in your field and through your aura. Erase it and place love there. Erase it and place love there. Erase it and place love there. And with that, feel their energy retracting. Any lines, any hooks, any entanglements completely released to the root, gone. And see and sense and feel and imagine any openings that may have been caused in your field, mind, body, and emotion, your energy field, your psyche, to be healed and sealed completely, and it is done. Thank them, acknowledge them, and then see them leave. Now again, this could be a vision of a place, of an event. Maybe it's a person. Call in the second person, place, or thing as their higher self, as the nature of its higher self. They have something to tell you. Ask them why they extend it to you in that way. Now, this could be the media, could be a person. Listen. What do they have to tell you? And now, what do you have to tell them in response? And speak as your higher self, as your higher mind, your higher heart. Now, unhooking, delinking, imagining any ways that you sense that that energy has gotten into your field, into your psyche. Erase it and place love there. And imagine to the root, throughout each of you, these lines of connection are dissolved, are disappeared. And love is creating the correct conditions for the perfect peace and healing and the reset of energy here. Now notice if there's any cracks, any holes in your aura, mind, body, emotional fields from that information, from that hook, that trigger, whatever it is that was attempting to be sent to you and to connect with you. Heal and seal them now. Imagine seeing them, sensing them, feeling them healed completely, regenerated completely with light, and it is done. Acknowledge the second person, place, or thing as their higher self, as they acknowledge you, and now they go. And the third person, place, or thing comes and sits in front of you. You acknowledge each other as the higher nature of one's being and ask them why. Why did you extend to me in that way? And listen. And tell them what you need to tell them. Imagine all the lines of energy and the way that they've attempted to connect with you. Erase those lines and place love there. All hooks, all ties completely uprooted from the root. All and any cracks or fissures or opening in your aura now completely healed and sealed with light. And now we're going to get going here with your higher self and your totems. You stand up and you walk back into the elevator and you make your way back up, 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 up into the heart. You thank your higher self. You thank your totems. And in 3 breaths, you come back into your body. Now, Instagram is going to close here shortly. So take your time. So this may be it for us this morning. Take a deep breath in for your mind. Fill that lattice with light and see how healed it is. And exhale, extending that light out beyond, and see all those places now. They don't exist anymore. You're fully healed. Mind, healed. Body, breathe that light in through that lattice of your body. Breathe it in. Fill up and exhale. Feel that light expand beyond you. And emotions, fill it up, breathe it in, and exhale through the lattice of light that you are. Gently open your eyes and come back into the room, into your body. I'm so grateful to share with you. Thank you for this powerful work. If you are interested, go back to the beginning and watch. And thank you for following, subscribing, and being a part of this beautiful community. I'm so, so very grateful. So I know on Instagram, it just finished. We only get an hour per story there. And I'm so grateful for everyone there. And on YouTube and Facebook, we're still here for a moment. I know Avine left a comment. So I just want to read that before we wrap up. She says, when we're balanced, we're at 0 point between light and shadow and become neutral. Yes. We don't feel a need to comment on another and pull them down. Behavior is reflective of level of growth. Amen, sister. Thank you for that. And thank you, everyone, for participating. May everything I share serve your path of spiritual growth and sovereignty. Blessings, and thank you so very much. I'm so, so very grateful. Thank you. And thank you, everyone.